Hello, everyone. This is Doc Holliday. Welcome to another show of me trying to save y'all life, I suppose. I want to start off by taking you well, first of all, how are you all doing? I hope everybody is safe. I hope that you all are enjoying the holidays and that you are taking the proper measures to ensure you and your family's safety during this holiday and this trying time that we're in regards to the coronavirus. I wanted to come on to talk with you all because um, I like to support the things that I say um, to you all, and I feel as though having some support in what I'm saying would be beneficial for you all to actually accept the things that I have said and to follow the things that I have said. So that's what I aim to do today. As many of you know, I've been a strong proponent of um, one second, of upgrading your mask. Been a strong proponent of upgrading your mask to a respirator like this. This is a half-face respirator. It has your filtration cartridges here on the side. Plus, it has the seal around the nose and mouth area to make sure that none of the pollutions or none of the coronavirus can get into your system, because every intake and exhale, every breath you take would be filtered through this thing right here, as opposed to you using like a cloth mask like this one and this one here. As I mentioned to you before, these are not any good in terms of providing any benefit for you in terms of preventing COVID-19, especially being that a lot of the masks I see a lot of people, are wearing are too big for them. Now, with me, I'm 6'6". I'm a larger guy, so it'll fit somewhat regularly on me. But even still, you still have holes and everything in it. Like anytime you have your glasses fogged up, that's when you know you have holes in your mask. And then there was some on the side and everything. This is as I said before, this is equivalent to how do you say a weak password protection. So this is weak virus protection for you. It's very minimal, and it provides zero. It should provide zero um, uh, uh, sense of safety or security with these. You should not have any feeling of safety or security with these. You should have feelings of safety and security with this right here. So, and what I'm going to do is to read to you all some of the things that were published in this article. This comes from actually the CDC's own website. As you can see right here at the top here, this is cdc.gov /coronavirus /2019 and blah, 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 blah. So basically, shucks. Well, you see, I'm going to CDC. You see, I was going through their stuff. This is CDC website or whatever. But okay, going on to what I wanted to cover. I have some things highlighted here on some paper that corresponds to what I will be sharing with you on screen. So there will be some ruffling back and forth. So please excuse me as I try to go over this with you. Okay, so that being said, let's see. Which part do I want to go over first? Why does it seem like that is a long way? Hold on one second. Let me get my bearings right here. 'Cause I must not have used any of that information there. Okay, I have to. What's going on? That was, um, I must have gone to the different one. Let me see if I. This is the same one. So it must have been this one. All right. All right, this is the one. Okay. So what I want to go over is, let's start with very top. Well, almost the top. The filtration effectiveness of cloth cloth mask is generally lower than that of any. I'm sorry. The filtration effectiveness of cloth masks are generally lower than that of medical masks and respirators. Again, the filtration effectiveness of cloth masks is generally lower than that of medical masks and respirators. Again, the filtration effectiveness of cloth masks, this is what a lot of people are using, cloth masks, is generally lower than that of medical masks and respirators. So a lot of people are only using these cloth masks. These cloth masks are not going to be good enough for you to battle COVID-19. So again, I need everyone to stop using these masks. These masks are no-go, and that includes the gator, the gator that goes up your nose and your mouth or whatever. You can't, none of that. All that stuff is no good for you to protect yourself from COVID-19. All right. So let's see. The filtration, I'm going to read all of it. The filtration effectiveness of cloth masks is generally lower than that of medical masks and respirators. However, cloth masks may provide some protection if well designed and correctly used. So that doesn't mean that any old cloth, because this is a cloth mask. This is a two-layer cloth mask. This is not well designed, and it would not prevent me from catching COVID-19. It says multi-layer cloth mask designed to fit around the face and made of water-resistant fabric, which this crap is not, and a high number of threads and finer weave may provide reasonable protection. That means that with all of you all that have your companies print out you some masks, or you buying some masks from NFL.com or NBA.com, they are not the masks of high enough quality to provide a high enough protection for you to prevent COVID-19 or prevent you from catching COVID-19. So again, any of the masks, any of the cloth masks that you have in your household, they do not work. Any of these fake medical masks that are not N95, any of these masks do not work. Even if there are N95 masks, these type of masks, they do not work. Anything that has this bungee crap or whatever, and you have to put this over, don't wear that stuff. We have way too many people. Calm down, Holiday. We have way too many people that are dying from COVID-19 because they are using these masks. I apologize for yelling. I'm so sorry. Just we have way too many people dying, and it's like nobody is caring. These politicians, they are no good. They are no good. Nobody is presenting the right information. This stuff is right here on their website, on CDC's website. But yet, I mean, nobody's reading. Nobody's taking time out to make sure that they're doing the right thing. We have, look at this. We had 208,000 people catch this disease yesterday. 208,000 people. 25,000 in California, 11,000 in Pennsylvania, another 11 in Texas, 10 in Ohio, 10 in Florida, 10 in New York. This is insanity. And why are we catching why are all of these people catching COVID? Is because they are not wearing the right mask. I don't know what the hell the government is doing and why they're not giving you all the right information. But America, your government is failing you. You have to wear you have to wear respirators and make sure that you wear them when you go out anywhere. And anybody take it off, tell them to screw themselves because you need one. And I say that because because I flew on American Airlines and they forbid me from wearing my respirator. They were the ones. This is how I got a cloth mask, because they gave me this one and said, you have to wear a cloth, that you can't wear anything with bits in it for some dumbass reason. We need to put an end to that. So for all of you all that are listening to this, please put in some phone calls to the FCC and also your congressman to let them know that they are making it so that people are not afforded the proper protection for themselves. And they're putting all their passengers at risk by them saying that we can't use respirators. And the reason why they said that we can't use is because they were saying that micro particles or whatever can actually leak from the exhaust thing in this one. That may be so, but it's a lot less than what comes up from this mask. See, a lot of people are not realizing it, and it even shows it in this article that I'm going to read to you. When you breathe in or exhale, air takes the path of least resistance. So if you have this mask and there is gaps around the mask and everything to where air can get in. Where's my other mask at? Never mind. The air is going to go in and out that way. It's not going to go through all this because hitting up this is like a wall or something that it's hitting up against when it hits up against the cotton. So it's going to then seep out or whatever on the outside where there is no interference. It's going to go to places of least resistance. And the same thing with your inhaling air. Your inhaling air, it takes a lot more to get the air from through this fabric. It's going to take it from out of wherever you have holes in your magazine. I mean, in your mask, in order for the air to go into you. Again, it takes the path of least resistance. So these masks, not only do they not provide a seal around your nose to prevent any outside air to going into your mouth that is not filtered by a filter, and then number two, it is not a high enough quality to prevent the microscopic particles that make up COVID from entering in this magazine or in through this mask. Well, I keep saying magazine. That's basically why they're ineffective. But I'm going to keep on reading this for you right quick. Oh, so that was what's wrong. I clicked on the wrong. Okay, I clicked on the wrong tab. My bad, G. Okay, so then as a result, heated debate. All right. Now it says here, historically, cloth masks have been used to protect healthcare workers and the general public from various respiratory infections. However, most studies of cloth masks were conducted in vivo and during the first half of the 20th century, before medical masks were developed. Again, most studies for cloth masks were conducted in vivo and during the first half of the 20th century, which means that in vivo means live in the theater, because they had what is it called? Jesus, it's not scarlet fever. It's the I don't know, the plague in 1920. No, yeah, no, it's, which one is it? Right. No, what was it was I can't think of what it was. The Spanish flu. Yeah. The Spanish flu. That's what it was. I don't know. I seen it on my paper somewhere. I can't see. Oh, there it is. Spanish flu. That's where, they had the usage of. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. This is where the Spanish flu was in 1918. That was one of the main theaters, and then all these other ones, I guess they had to use them as well. But going back up to this, historically, cloth masks have been used to protect healthcare workers and the general public from various respiratory infections. However, most studies of cloth masks were conducted in vivo and during the first half of the 20th century, before medical masks were developed. To our knowledge, only one randomized controlled trial has been conducted to determine the efficacy of cloth masks. In this article, they're talking about, well, let me just stop there. Well, I will read it. In this article, we will discuss the evidence to inform the use of cloth masks for the prevention of respiratory infections and propose strategies for cleaning and decontamination to protect frontline workers and the general public. So, and then again, this was just updated. This was just updated when this is an article that was updated on, well, I guess it was November the 10th. November the 10th, I think, was when they updated this article. All right, so moving along. Some of the studies. Rates of infections were consistently higher among those in the cloth mask group than in the ones with medical masks and control groups. Again, this is in 2015. We conducted a randomized controlled trial to compare the efficacy of cloth masks with that of medical masks and controls standard practice among healthcare workers in Vietnam. Rates of infections, again, were consistently higher among those with cloth masks than in the medical masks and control groups. This finding suggests that risk for infection was higher for those wearing cloth masks. Again, please, we cannot wear cloth masks. Ladies and gentlemen, please throw away your cloth masks. Do not be tempted to wear them. They are giving you a false sense of security. We have 209,000 people that caught the disease yesterday. We don't need any more people catching this disease, please, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, can you please heed my warnings or heed my suggestions. Just trying to see what they got over here. What the difference is. Anything 14 at 583. Yeah, I don't know why they count more, or to me the John Hopkins stuff is not the best one, to be honest with you. I like this one here. It's much more how do you say, the information is more complete to me. But moving along, let's go back to what I was talking about here. We can use this one. This is fine. Studies for cloth mask efficacy. All right. We already did. The rates of infections were consistently higher among those in the cloth mask group than in the medical mask and control groups. Again, you ought to throw away your cloth mask. And in a second, I'm going to tell you why you need to throw away your medical mask as well. All right, so we have examined the filtration ability of cloth masks by reviewing 19 studies. We found that the filtration effectiveness of cloth masks is generally lower than that of medical masks and respirators. Again, cloth masks, the filtration effectiveness, that means to filter out all of the COVID from going into your body, the filtration effectiveness of cloth masks is generally lower than that of medical masks and respirators. Filtration effectiveness of cloth masks varies widely. Some materials filter better than others. Meaning, if you got a cloth mask like this with only 2 layers of cloth, this isn't good because it has to have some extra things on it. Filtration effectiveness of cloth masks depends on many factors, such as thread count, numbers of layers, type of fabric, and water resistance. One study tested medical masks and several household materials for the ability to block bacteria and viral aerosols. Participants made masks from different materials, and all masks tested showed some ability to block microbial aerosol materials. To block microbial aerosol challenges? What? I don't understand that. And all masks tested showed some ability to block the microbial aerosol challenges, although less than that of medical masks. Okay, they word that sentence wrong, but you understand. Basically, all the masks failed, and they did not block to the level. They did not block the aerosol, the microbial aerosols. Those are the things of which COVID-19's travel within. It showed some ability to block it, although less than that of medical masks. Another study found that homemade cloth masks may also reduce aerosol exposure, although less than so of medical masks and respirators. And then finally, masks made of cotton or towel provide better protection than a mask made of gauze. We're not going to be using gauze as respirators. I don't even think you can as masks. We're not that bad. So, but yeah, we'll just put a note on here. Although cloth masks are often not designed to fit around the face, some materials may fit snugly against the face. One study found that the use of nylon stockings around the mask improved filtration. So you can wear the mask and then just, hey, lady, can use your panties, or not panties, stockings. I don't know. Sorry, guess what? A bad joke. So moving along, policies and guidelines. Okay, so other thing I want to read here. As a result of the shortages of masks during the recent COVID-19 pandemic, CDC developed strategies for optimizing the supply of masks and recommended using homemade cloth masks when no medical masks were available. However, no guidance is provided for the cleaning, decontamination of the mask, although standard washing in hot water and soap should be adequate. But let me go back here. Again, as a result of the shortage of masks during the recent COVID-19 pandemic, CDC developed strategies for optimizing the supply of masks, meaning that they wanted to save all of the masks for the healthcare workers while they were trying to treat all the patients. So that is why the CDC had recommended using homemade cloth masks when there was no medical mask available. Now, as of present, there are plenty of medical masks available out on the market today. There are plenty of them. You can go through any store, any hardware store like Home Depot, Lowe's, They're available on the internet. There's a plethora, a myriad. What is that? Plethora of places that that you can go to in order to buy medical masks. Although, again, I wouldn't recommend doing it. I would recommend buying the respirators, and soon you shall know why. Factors to consider when using cloth masks to protect the wearers and to prevent spread of infection during COVID-19 pandemic. The primary transmission routes for severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 are thought to be inhalation of respiratory droplets and close contact. Therefore, WHO recommends wearing medical masks during routine care and using respirators during aerosol generating procedures and or high-risk situations. I'm going to repeat this again. The primary transmission routes for severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus are thought to be inhalation of respiratory droplets and close contact. Therefore, the World Health Organization, which is not a member, which is not operated by the United States, the World Health Organization recommends wearing medical masks, not cotton masks, not cloth masks, medical masks during routine care and using respirators during aerosol generated procedures and other high-risk situations. So, again, I'm scratching off medical masks as well. I'm saying that you need to be using respirators in order to protect you from the virus. That is the goal here. We're trying to protect you. Now, however, SARS-CoV-19 is a novel pathogen, and growing evidence indicates the possibility of airborne transmission. Recommendations to wear masks to protect the wearer from droplet infections are based on the assumption that droplets can travel short distances, only generally 1 to 2 meters. That's why they put the thing on. You have to be 6 feet apart to prevent the spread of COVID. However, in 10 studies of horizontal droplet distance, 8 studies showed that droplets travel greater than 2 meters. Again, of 10 studies of the horizontal droplet distance, 8 of the 10 studies showed that droplets traveled more than 2 meters. And in some instances, the droplets traveled equal to 8 meters. And 8 meters is the equivalent of 24 feet. That is how far droplets or aerosols can reach. That means, like, if you're in the front of a classroom teaching as a professor, your droplets can reach all the way back to the back row. That is a huge amount of distance. So when the CDC or the government tells you, okay, you need to make sure that you're 6 feet apart or whatever, based off of this 1 to 2 meter thing, no. You need, in fact, more space than that, especially if they're infected. Some distances can travel up to 8 meters. That means everybody needs to stay home. A recent study also showed that COVID-19 may be transmitted up to 4 meters. That is 12 feet. That is double what they are trying to recommend you to do, to stand 6 feet away. Therefore, ideally, all frontline healthcare workers should use a respirator. Therefore, ideally, all frontline healthcare workers should use a respirator. It does not say may wear. It does not say could where it says all frontline healthcare workers should wear a respirator in order to protect them from catching COVID-19. Now, I don't know how many times I've seen the different television stations, news channels go into different hospitals or whatever, and you have doctors with just the surgical mask. You can even see them sometimes in the testing lines. They're just wearing the surgical mask as opposed to wearing a respirator. Listen, if you are one of those workers that are on the front line, you need to have a respirator. If you are working the cash register at your local grocery store, you need to wear a respirator. In fact, all of the cash registers and everything, all the people that work at grocery stores and gas stations, they need to be some of the first people that are given the vaccine for the virus, inclusive of the healthcare workers. But that's another story, a different topic for a different day. Let's see. So, however, demand for personal protective equipment has increased during COVID-19 pandemic, and respirator shortages and previous pandemic have also been reported. But it doesn't matter. The respirators are available now. So all healthcare workers should go out there to get the respirators. Do not go to work in any hospital, any doctor's office, any kind of healthcare setting, and still wear those surgical masks. I don't care if can't nobody hear you. You still need to be wearing a respirator because that will be saving your life and the life of your family members. It goes on to say, if respirators are unavailable, healthcare workers should use a medical mask, but may be at increased risk if they do so. If respirators are unavailable, healthcare workers could use a medical mask, but they may be at increased risk if they do so. Now, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a nurse or you have somebody that is an orderly or anybody that works in the hospital settings, they need to be listening to this video. You need to text them this video. You need to share it on Facebook and let them know of this video. You need to share it on Twitter and on Instagram and let them know you need to watch this video. If you know anybody that's in the healthcare field or that would benefit from this information, I need you to share this video. And while we're at it, please press the like, share, and subscribe buttons because I'm gonna be here giving more information to try to help everyone through this crisis, because the government is not giving you the best information for you and your family to protect yourself. Because right now, it should not be, the focus should not be preventing the spread of the coronavirus. The focus should be protecting yourself and preventing yourself from attaining the coronavirus. Therefore, it is enough with those cloth masks and those surgical masks BS. It is respirators, because you need to protect yourself from the outside environment. More people wear the respirators, the more people will be saved from this COVID-19 mess. The CDC and the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control initially recommended that all healthcare workers use respirators. However, because of shortages, they later recommended a respirator use for high-risk situations only. Again, initially, CDC and the European CDPC initially recommended that all healthcare workers use respirators. That was the correct decision. That was the correct decision that both the CDC made and the EDCPC made. The European Center, oh, you can't read this, can you? Oops. Yeah, CDC and European Center for Disease Prevention and Control initially recommended that all healthcare workers use respirators. However, because of shortages, they later recommended respirator use for high-risk situations only. Well, I mean, now that we have more respirators, we should be going back to healthcare personnel should be wearing respirators only. We should not be still in the phase of because of shortages, you all can wear some what do you call it? Uh, me- Surgical mask. That should not be the case anymore. Everybody should be wearing the full respirator. So during a pandemic, cloth masks may be the only option available. However, they should be used as a last resort. During the pandemic, cloth masks may be the only option available. However, they should be used as a last resort when medical masks. Oh, you can't read that either. During the pandemic, cloth masks may be the only option available. However, they should be used as a last resort when medical masks and respirators are not available. That means that everyone that has spent money on the internet, on online, at your stores, your jobs may gave me all of these cloth masks are garbage. That is the reason why we have so many people ending up in the hospital right now, because they have been exposed to the virus while only wearing a dead plastic cloth mask that is not going to be effective in stopping this virus. Cloth masks should not be mandated for healthcare workers, but some may choose to use them if there are no alternatives. Let me see. Protection is affected by proper mask use as well as by certain fabric and designs of the mask for water resistance, filtration, and fit. Current evidence suggests that multi-layered masks with water-resistant fabric, high number of threads, and finer weave may be more protective. Several studies have examined filtration, but fewer of them have examined fit or water resistance. Surgical masks are normally rated for fluid resistance, and cloth masks should be too. Masks should be able to prevent a stream of fluid flowing at a pressure of up to 160 millimeters per Hg from seeping through the mask and potentially into the mouth. Furthermore, the degree of fit affects the effectiveness of, Furthermore, the degree of fit affects the effectiveness because air flows in the direction of least resistance. So I was mentioning to you before, air flows flow in the direction of least resistance. If gaps are present on the sides of the mask, air will flow through those gaps instead of through the mask. Furthermore, here, I'm going to just switch it off to this one. Furthermore, the degree of fit affects the effectiveness because air flows in the direction of least resistance. If gaps are present on the sides of the mask, air will flow through those gaps instead of through the mask. And yes, I do have dyslexia, so you have to excuse me. But that being said, hey, at least I'm in the reading. Look, I got problems reading, and I'm reading more than most of you cats that ain't got no problems in reading. But yet y'all still ain't doing the reading to protect your life or health or whatever. But nonetheless, I'm gonna keep on going because I'm in the mood for saving lives. Let's go. Let's see. I want to go down to here. Let's switch it back to 2. Moreover, in a widespread pandemic, differentiating asymptomatic from healthy persons in the community is very difficult. So at least in high transmission areas, universal face mask use may be beneficial. The general public should be educated about mask use, because cloth masks may give users a false sense of protection. This is the CDC saying this. This is the CDC saying this. This is not me. This is the CDC saying that cloth masks may give users a false sense of protection because of their limited protection against acquiring the infection. This is from the CDC. And nobody is mentioning this. No newspaper, no mainstream media outlet is mentioning this at all. All they doing is saying, "Oh, we got millions of people that are catching the virus. Oh, Trump ain't doing nothing. We gotta wait on Biden. Maybe Biden can do something." But nobody is telling the public how that they need to make changes, and they can't keep relying on the same things that everybody else has been relying on when everybody else has been catching COVID as a result of them wearing these stupid cloth masks. So please stop wearing these cloth masks. What was that? Moreover, in a widespread pandemic, differentiating asymptomatic from healthy persons in the community is very difficult. So at least in high transmission areas, universal face mask use may be beneficial. The general public should be educated about mask use because cloth masks may give users a false sense of protection because cloth masks may give users a false sense of protection because of their limited protection against acquiring the infection. Correctly putting on and taking off masks improves protection. Taking a mask off is a high-risk process because pathogens may be present on the outer surface of the mask and may result in self-contamination during removal. Now, I bet you half the people listening to this will say, "Oh, that's a new one. I didn't even know that I could be putting myself at risk once I take off the mask." But yeah, there is a slight chance that you could be putting yourself at risk. I don't know what this table is about. Here it says, putting on a mask. Wash your hands with soap and water or alcohol-based sanitizer. Take a clean, dry mask, blah, 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 blah. All right, taking off the cloth mask. Wash your hands. Do not touch the outer surface of the face mask while removing. Do not touch the outer surface of the face mask while removing. Untie the lower strings first, then the upper strings. In case of ear loops, remove the ear loops first and then remove the mask. Place the mask in a plastic zipper bag until it can be decontaminated. Wash your hands again after removing the mask. Now, I would tell you that I would include with that probably hold my breath as I'm taking the mask off and everything, and probably doing it outside to where you're not inside the house and having the aerosols of the mask bounce off of it, because anytime you move a mask, I mean, it's you play with a mask, it's automatic that particles jump off of it. So definitely you want to do that outside of your house or outside of your car when doing that. And it also mentions down here, have at least 2 masks per person. I would say probably around about 4 masks per person or more. I only have my respirator. I have a respirator, and I usually keep some of these kind of masks or my other mask here in my truck, and I would just use my truck, or I keep those in my truck. And if for whatever reason I leave this in here because I may have been doing a video or something, I will at least have one of the other masks should I forget to bring this and need to go to a grocery store or whatever. I will sometimes use those. However, I don't know, I might be buying another one. But yeah, But for any case, for those of you that maybe don't have the money, or maybe haven't thought about it, at least you should have at least 2 masks per person. And in fact, if you're using those cloth masks, I would say you probably need to use the 2 masks each time that you use it, at least up until you're able to afford one of the respirators. So what was that? I already read all of that. Taking off masks is a high-risk process because pathogens may be present on the outer surface of the mask and may result in self-contamination during removal. All right. Other stuff. More research on cloth masks is needed to inform their use as an alternative to surgical masks and respirators in the event of shortage or high demand situations. Right now, we do not have any shortages or high demand situations at current. If you go to get a proper respirator or order it online and have it delivered to you, hopefully we won't be in a presence or in a situation where there will be a shortage on it. But as of right now, they are available. So as of me making this video on the 6th of December, they are available. All right. To our knowledge, only, wait, what? Did I want to read this? No, I'll read it. To our knowledge, only one randomized controlled trial has been conducted to examine the efficacy of cloth masks in a healthcare setting, and the results do not favor use of cloth masks. Again, to our knowledge, only one randomized controlled trial has been conducted to examine the efficacy of cloth masks in healthcare settings, and the result of that controlled trial stated that they do not favor use of cloth masks in the healthcare setting. Let's see. It says more randomized controlled trials should be conducted in community settings to test the efficacy of cloth masks against respiratory infections. According to the U.S. Institute of Medicine, National Academy of Sciences, more research on the engineering design of cloth masks to enhance their filtration and fit is needed. Moreover, various methods for decontaminating cloth masks should be tested as well. Blah, 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 blah. Conclusions. The filtration, effectiveness, fit, and performance of cloth masks are inferior to those of medical masks and respirators. Again, the filtration, the effectiveness, the fit, and the performance of cloth masks are inferior to those of medical masks and those of respirators. Cloth masks should not be mandatory for healthcare workers and should, getting too emotional. Cloth mask use should not be mandated for healthcare workers and who should, damn it, can I read? Cloth mask use should not be mandated for healthcare workers who should, as a priority, be provided proper respiratory protection. I agree. Again, I said it earlier in the video. Ladies and gentlemen, if you all are working in a healthcare facility in which you are dealing with COVID patients, and really you have no way, it's not like people coming up here and have a big red sign, I have COVID above my head. So if you are in a medical facility, I would strongly recommend that you wear a respirator, because that is what is recommended by the CDC. And if you have a problem with any of your management that says you cannot wear them, tell them to kiss your ass and tell them that you are getting guidance off from the CDC. And if they have a problem with it, I want you to write down write down the date, the time, who it was that said it to you, that they had a problem with it, and make sure you have the witnesses information on it as well, because it is well within your right to do what is necessary to protect yourself. If you're in a healthcare setting, they cannot make you put your life at risk by making you wear just a surgical mask, because somebody may or may not be able to hear you through a respirator. That is absolutely irresponsible. So you and once you get that information, you need to contact HR, and you need to contact whoever the head person is in that facility, because it's garbage, and that should not be allowed. You should not be mandated to wear any kind of a cloth mask or a medical mask when that is not effective enough in treating or preventing this disease. So I'm going to go over this again. The filtration effectiveness, fit, and performance of cloth masks are inferior to those of medical masks and respirators. Cloth masks should not be mandated for healthcare workers, who should, as a priority, be provided proper respiratory protection. Cloth masks are a more suitable option for community use when medical masks are unavailable. That means we're only to use those when the medical masks were not available. Now the medical masks are available, and there is a whole lot more even respirators available. So I want you to, because remember what I said about the password protection, or in this case virus protection. This right here, this is weak virus protection. This type of mask, and the cloth mask as well. This is weak virus protection. The medical masks are a average protection, or probably less than average protection. But then the strong protection is going to be the respirators. Everyone's goal should be to get the strongest protection from the disease, and that would be a respirator. A respirator which would have these devices that would filter all of the air. It will be either those devices or like these circle ones right here. Those kind of devices. Excuse me. Whew. But it says again, cloth masks, blah, 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 blah. Protection provided by cloth masks may be improved by selecting appropriate materials, increasing the number of mask layers, and using those with a design that provides filtration and fit. Cloth masks should be washed daily and after high exposure use by using soap and water or other appropriate methods. Then it gives this information was presented by Dr. Shuntai, who is an epidemiologist working as a lecturer in the School of Public Health and Community Medicine at the University of New South Wales, Australia. His research includes epidemiology and control of infectious disease, focusing on emerging and re-emerging infections. So this goes to show you that this person here is highly touted and has lots of different books of references for you to check out. But again, this is the web page right here that provides where I get all this information from. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, and I don't know, hope that you all understand that when I say that everyone should wear a mask, I say that everyone should wear this kind of mask. I mean, everyone should wear this kind of mask because it's proven. I would never, ever, coming from Doc Holliday, this little name right here on this, Doc Holliday, that is me. And I pride myself on being very truthful and doing everything that I can for everybody, because my position in life is I want to try to help all to pretty much beat her all. And can't do that without you being here. And I want to do all that I can to make you be here. So that is the reason why I keep on doing these videos. That is the reason why I keep asking for everyone to watch the videos and to also share the videos, and to subscribe to more videos, because I will be bringing more videos to light. But again, the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is to please stop using the cloth mask. Please stop using the surgical mask, because they are ineffective in stopping the coronavirus. The only way that we can make sure that you are given the most optimum protection, is to make sure that you are wearing these what do you call them? Respirators. That's the only way that we can ensure that you are able to survive, because we have to make sure that you don't get the disease. And if you're still wearing these, there's a very high likelihood that you would be catching the coronavirus. So I don't know. I really can't say anymore. I do hope that you all see this. I do hope that you all share this. I hope that it was something that you were able to grasp. I hope that it was informational, and I hope that everyone stopped wearing the cloth and the surgical mask and upgrade themselves to better protection, for you, for me, for the entire human race. Yeah. I hope you're listening, world. Take care. I love you. God bless. Keep the faith.